Hi, I'm Andrew Wasson. Thanks for tuning in to my weekly guitar blog. It's March 18th, 2012. And this time around, we're going to go to St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, to answer a question that was sent in from Bryson. He wrote in saying, the theory book that I have explains arpeggios as the notes of a chord, but what I don't quite get is if arpeggios are actually chords, then why have I read that guitar players are playing arpeggios during their solos? Hope you can clarify this. Thank you, from Bryson in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada. Well, thanks for writing in, Bryson. You know, the whole confusion, players who are quite new to working with arpeggios, is often one in which the arpeggio concept of it being the notes of a chord, or sometimes also called a broken chord, has more to do with the fact that we are analyzing arpeggio tones when we use them not as chords to be strummed, but rather as single note ideas, much more akin to how we'd analyze a typical major or minor scale. Now, to help you get better with understanding this idea, let's zoom in on the guitar neck and get more familiar with where arpeggios come from and basic ways that arpeggios are applied. So let's begin with the standard C major chord, your basic open position C major. And from that chord, which has the tone C, E, G, C, E in it, I'm going to show you the first idea, which is actually a finger plucking idea. It's called arpeggiating a chord. And it would just be like sweeping across the shape, just like that. You mostly see that in something like fingerstyle or classical guitar. Now, the next thing I want to do, though, is expand away from that, because obviously that is using the full shape of the chord. I'd like to go next to going through a position study of an arpeggio. So we're going to be using a C major chord at third position. And what happens in these cases is you'll wind up with getting a couple notes per string, obviously something you can't do if you're doing a regular chord shape, approaching it from the arpeggiation style. So here's an arpeggio in second position, basically off the root of C. And right across the neck like that. You can just pick your favorite fingering for that. And that's a little bit different now, because you can hear, there's a couple of notes on each string, which is something that we can't really execute when we just have a shape of a chord itself. Now, in the next example I want to cover, though, I'm going to get into an idea of something that, where you're stacking tones of arpeggios over top of one another. So I have this run, it goes like this. So it's rather long, and you can tell there's lots of repetition of tones, and we cover quite a few different positions on the neck. We're coming along here from fifth, and then we're in eighth, and then we're in 12th, So there's quite a few positions that we're covering all along the neck, and at the same time we're doubling up on tones. We're creating quite a long arpeggio lines, and this is something you very commonly see in your typical guitar solo. But there's another avenue I want to go and check out with this, and it's basically how you'd cover a set of chord changes. So I'm going to play for you very quickly here just a standard, typical rhythm guitar type idea, where we're moving from C major to B flat to A flat, and then down into an F. So here's the groove. Okay, something fairly common you might hear in 70s classic rock tune or something like that. Now, what we're going to do in covering those chords is we're going to use arpeggios to track the chord changes all along the neck. And I have this melody that I've come up with here. It goes. And you can hear that's covering our chord changes there. So that's yet another way that you can apply arpeggios as a single note melodic statement across a series of chord changes and really bring out and highlight the tones of the chord, because the arpeggios are the chord tones. Well, as you can tell, The application of arpeggios covers a few different approaches. We can arpeggiate chords through finger plucking technique. We can perform the arpeggio either in position or along the neck, and we can apply arpeggios as melodic concepts to track the movement of a particular harmony, since of course arpeggios are the exact chord tones of chords. Now it actually doesn't end there either, because there are more complex applications of arpeggios as well, such as superimposing arpeggios through theories like diatonic chord substitution. If you want more information on this kind of stuff, check out my Creative Guitar Studio YouTube channel, where there's 2 videos I would highly suggest checking out. One is called Chord Families and Diatonic Substitution. The other one's called Arpeggio Swaps and Common Tone Use. Anyway, once again, that's about all the time I have for today. As always, I hope these explanations help you. Thanks for watching. As always, have yourself a great week, and I'll catch up with you next time. Bye for now.